Hey guys, what I'd like to do in this video is talk about the grey market because this camera, this phone, and many other things that I bought online were all purchased from the grey market. This camera was actually purchased from Panamos, who I believe are based in Hong Kong. And unfortunately, the lens that came with this camera was damaged on arrival. It was making this high-pitched sound, which just made the lens unusable. But I sent them an email about this, about a replacement or refund, and they replied yesterday morning and said, is it okay to pick it up? Within 15 minutes, there was a courier at my door who picked up the lens, and within about 25 minutes or 10 minutes of that courier, I had a full refund for the full price of that lens. So within 25 minutes, they had picked up the lens and got a full refund, despite the fact that company is based in Hong Kong. So I'm sure you're aware of what grey market means. Whereas the black market refers to counterfeit items, fake items, items which are normally substandard. Grey market refers to items which are real, official, and they're high quality. The only difference is that they're not officially being sold in your region. Now, I'm sure you're aware that most tech companies around the world, big global companies, they sell products around the world at different prices. So they sell items at different price points around the world, and they also support them locally as well. So most warranties are only available in certain regions, which used to drive me crazy when I was traveling because I bought phones, cameras, headsets, laptops when I was in Asia, and then you'd move to the next country and all of a sudden your item is not, it's not got a warranty, despite the fact that company is also operating in that country. So I don't agree with the way big companies, handle this kind of thing, but you can take advantage of that, and you can take advantage of the grey market and purchase items from outside your region. Most of the time when we're talking about grey market items, we are talking, of course, about China. We're talking about Hong Kong. We're talking about Beijing. And we're talking about picking up items at a much lower price point. And that's one of the biggest things, one of the biggest reasons to buy on the grey market. You can pick up items which are identical. These items have come out officially in the UK and they're identical to the ones which are sold in Asia. It's the same item just being sold, around different places in the world. But they are significantly cheaper. The Poco phone, for example, that was being sold at one point for an effective rate of like £328 in sterling. But this is going to be retailing at £500 in the UK. This camera retails, just the body, retails at like £1,550, but it's £1,300 if you order from Hong Kong. So there's a lot of places that you can, purchase grey market items from. I've used eGlobal several times. I've also used GearBest and AliExpress and Banggood and a lot of other places. And I'm sure you're aware, buying from China doesn't always go smoothly. It really doesn't. In fact, I will say that for most of these companies, depending on the person selling, as soon as you push that buy button, customer service is gone. It doesn't matter how many questions they answer beforehand. As soon as you click that buy button, you are getting nothing. Very few updates, very few replies to emails, and I've been stung with this a few times. Now, I will say, if you're ever buying from the grey market, use PayPal. Use PayPal to avoid any problems if there's any disputes. But unfortunately, you will have to rely on PayPal. There's been a few times where items have just not been sent to me via AliExpress or somewhere else like that. And there's been a few times where a phone has arrived. There was one where a cheap phone arrived and the glass wasn't even put on correctly. So there's been a lot of times where I've had problems with the items that have arrived, but they do not want to know about it. They do not want to help you. So you have to go to PayPal. So sometimes the grey market is not the way to go. Sometimes it's not, because the saving is not enough. But for certain items, it is. Certainly with me for cameras. I've bought a lot of my cameras used, but when I look at a lot of these cameras I've been looking at recently, I'm looking at the used prices, and I can buy these items brand new from Hong Kong cheaper than what they're being sold used in the UK. And if there's a lot of refurbished camera websites online where professionals will sell their gear to these companies and then they sell them on, so lenses and camera bodies, etc. But frequently those prices are more expensive than simply buying it brand new with the box, with the manual, with no damage, and you can buy it brand new from Hong Kong. Now, what I will say is that be aware that when you're buying something from the grey market, that most of the time, certainly when you're talking about phones and different things like that, most of the time you've really got no follow-up. if you have any problems with the item, they expect you to send it back to China. And a lot of the time, they want you to pay for that. They want you to send it back and you have to pay like $50 or whatever. And it ends up that you just go, forget it, it's not worth the hassle. But there are good companies operating that do help you with grey market imports. In the UK, there's a few companies that actually import the grey market items to the UK and then ship them locally within the UK. And what those camera companies do is, because they can't give you a warranty, they will repair it for you. So they've got their own warranty service. But there's a few other companies that just ship directly from Hong Kong. And when you need a repair, you send it to, the official company locally, like Fuji or Canon or whatever, and they will just pay for it afterwards, which is unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. Now, the company that I bought from, as I was saying, the company I bought from was Panamos. This is a company here. Now, I did a little bit of research beforehand, and the other company that I found was e-ifinity. There's a lot of other companies out there as well, which you'll find out that do grey market imports from Hong Kong. But what I kind of found out before, and I'm kind of generalizing here, but the reviews that I saw said that Panamos was more expensive, and it is, but they offer a 3-year UK warranty, and their customer service is generally better than e-ifinity. But e-ifinity is without doubt a lot cheaper, and it is a lot cheaper. I mean, they've got like cameras such as this, for example, the XA7, which is now on sale for 500 in the UK, but even a week ago that was selling for 600. And there's a lot of things like that, lenses and cameras being sold much lower than what they cost in the UK used. So you can save a huge amount of money by ordering from these companies. And what I would say as well is that my experience with eGlobal, from a customer service point of view, is that it's poor. Same with AliExpress and a lot of these Chinese marketplaces. But a lot of these companies operating out of Hong Kong are really giving good customer service. I really was incredibly impressed with what Panamos did. I mean, they sell their cameras and their lenses with a 3-year UK warranty. So if you've got any problems, with a Canon or a Sony camera, you send it back to the official Sony or Canon repair service. And then I think you need to pay first in some circumstances out with the first year, and then they'll just give you the money for it. But I don't know about that, but I do know that this week when I sent it back, they picked that up in 20 minutes, then gave them the refund within half an hour. So I don't think the grey market is for everyone, and it isn't always the right thing to do. If you're looking to buy from the grey market, I would say selling the mobile phone world, you can make a lot of savings. And for most tech items, I would say that if something is working within the first week, it should work within the next year. It's not like, a phone is just going to stop working or the glass will not, be put on correctly after a year. If you examine the item when you receive it, chances are it's going to be okay in a year. So the biggest risk is how it arrives, when it arrives. And some companies, there's always that risk of having to pay import tax, but most of these companies, they avoid that by sending it to a local distribution center. But really, the biggest risk is at the start. And really, if you are paying with PayPal, there's not a huge amount of risk. You're maybe losing a few weeks of your life with emails, etc. But there's not really a huge risk of losing money when you use PayPal or you use your credit card company. So certainly if you're looking for mobile phones and different things like that, I would definitely consider the grey market, but just be aware that you're not going to get the same high quality local customer service that you normally do. With camera companies, it does seem that there's a good market for companies that sell cameras, and they do offer good customer service, good replacement policies, good refund policies, and you can save a lot of money. And the savings are huge, absolutely huge. But you have to, pay attention to the prices. For example, the lens that I'm looking for right now, the one I'm thinking about getting, is currently £700 on Panamos, but it's only £520 on e-ifinity. But there currently is a sale in the UK where I can get it for £580. So it makes more sense for me to buy in the UK for a little bit more, and I get the local warranty. So you always have to weigh these things up. But I would say, if you're ever looking to spend any kind of significant money on a product, you should give the grey market a look. You can save a lot of money, and there are a lot of companies out there, as long as you're willing to wait a week or two for delivery, there are a lot of companies out there that do give good customer service as well. There's a lot of companies that don't, but there you go. But selling in the camera world, grey market, there's a lot of money to be saved. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, guys. Have you ever ordered from the grey market, otherwise known as do you order things from China? Do you order products from outside your country just to save money? Let me know what you think about it, guys. Leave a comment below and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Take care.